catch every game live on the NBC World Series YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe so you never miss a game. Fans, make sure to download the NBC World Series app to stay up to date on game and event information. Gear up for this year's NBC World Series at the team store located behind home plate. Customize your own shirts, grab an NBC hat, sweatshirt, or more at the team store behind home plate. This game will feature the visiting team, the Seattle Washington Blackfins, versus the home team, the Hayes, Kansas Larks. Here's the starting lineup for today's game. First of all, for the Blackfins, leading off playing shortstop, number 8, Ryan Jeffries. Batting second, left fielder number 24, Zion Williams. Batting third and playing third base will be number 7, Harrison Proctor. Batting fourth and pitching DH will be number 4, Josiah O'Bannon. Batting fifth and playing right field will be number 19, Todd Burko. Batting sixth and playing center field, number 20, Bryce Lindbergh. Batting seventh and playing first base will be number 50, Alex Harden. Batting eighth and catching, number 12, Mike Snyder. And batting ninth and playing second base will be number 16, Austin Santiago. The head coach for the Blackfins has been Andrews, assisted by Dave Snell and Matt Larson. And now, here's the starting lineup for the Hayes, Kansas Larks. Leading off and playing center field number 2, Nick Baker. Batting second and playing right field number 6, Hagan Ruiz. Batting third and playing left field number 32, Vinny Esme. Batting fourth and playing third base number 26, Tyler LaRue. Batting fifth and playing first base will be number 16, John Chipotle. Batting sixth and DH number 22, Jared Kroll. Batting seventh and playing shortstop number 8, Austin Love. Batting eighth and catching will be number 7, Brady Evans. Batting ninth and playing second base will be number 12, Luis Garcia. And pitching for the Larks, number 24, Dane Pinkerley. The head coach for the Larks is Frank Neal, assisted by Andy Luton and Keith Harper.
Thank you. Sorry about that. Thank you. It is a beautiful night for NBC baseball. My name is Andrew Burgos. I will be bringing you the game for tonight. It's always a blessing to be up here. We're going to walk you through the starting lineups real fast. You see the picture there for the Hayes Larks. The home team is going to be Dane Hengeley, my apologies. But now, leading off for the Blackfins is going to be Ryan Jeffries. My apologies. We had to kind of throw things together last second. Not the crew, obviously, but I had to go get some names, pronunciations, and stuff like that to make sure we were all good. The good news, though, we will have tournament director Katie Woods up here later for an interview, so that will be fun. So Ryan Jeffries leading things off here for the Blackfins. It's going to be a great game. The baseball gods were a little too good to us, as that's a mile-high fly ball. 2 miles in the air, and there to make the catch is the second baseman for the Hayes Larks, Luis Garcia. Luis Garcia makes that catch for the first out of today's game. And that is now going to bring up Zion Williams. Zion Williams is going to be playing left field for the Blackfins. 0-1 the count to pitch. Fouled back into their dugout. Keep the count at 0-1. There's a good look at Zion there. Hayes Larks and the Seattle Blackfins are going to play tomorrow. We don't know what the bracket's going to look like yet. Second pitch, inside just barely for a ball, 1-1. It's going to be a fun time. Let's walk you through the umpires. Home plate is Josh Shepis. First base, Ethan McCrane. Ben Harlow at third, and that pitch fouled back. For those of you who don't know, a little interesting story. One of the coaches for the Seattle Studs got hit by one of the foul balls as he was eating ice cream. Went and talked to him about it, and he said, you know what, that ice cream was really good, and he's okay. So that's good news, as that pitch is going to be fouled away. 0-1 to count. Not 0-1, 1-2. So 1-2 to count, 1 out. Here in the top of the first, getting things going. As Zion Williams at the plate. Pitch going to be down low to make it 2-2. Hope everyone's enjoyed this long day of baseball. We are starting about an hour and a half late. The baseball gods were good to us yesterday. All games were on time. And today they said, oh, no, not today. And every game just went a little bit longer and a little bit longer and a little bit longer. The Blackfins have been in the ballpark since 6 p.m. Got to talk to a few of them. It was a crazy game last game, as you saw on YouTube. 2-2, the pitch. Swung on a little chopper. Will they get through the gap? Nope, shortstop there to make the play. Throw to first in time. Great play there by the Hayes Larks shortstop, Austin Jaslov. Made a great play for a ground out. Read it perfectly. The ball lost some speed there for the second out of the top of the first. And that is going to bring up Harrison Kaufman. Kaufman is batting .600 so far in this series. Clean slate, 2 outs, nobody on. The first pitch coming to Kaufman. The pitch. Swung on a little chopper. Will it stay fair? It will. Throw to first, not in time. Unfortunately, it could not make the play as the third baseman, Tyler LaRue, tried his best but couldn't make the play to first. It was just really off the bat weird. They're going to score that one a hit. Thank you, Mike Dean. Obviously, Mike Dean, the head scorekeeper here in beautiful Wichita, Kansas. So with a runner on first, 2 outs, is going to bring up Josiah O'Bannon. So clean slate, 2 outs. Runner on first, a pitch. Swung on. Ooh, off the pitcher. Will it get there in time? The third baseman tries, will not make a play. Owie, owie, owie. So that is off the pitcher for the Hayes Larks. Dane Pendley couldn't make the play in time, and the third baseman for the Larks tried to make the play. Tyler LaRue, back-to-back plays, just couldn't make it happen. So now runners on first and second with 2 outs. This could be a little bit interesting. They went to go check on Pendley here just to make sure he's good. Going to call a quick time. It looks okay. And they're going to keep things going here in Wichita, Kansas. With 2 outs, runners on first and second. And that is going to bring up Kai Herko. This is where things will get interesting. Are the Blackfins? You got to take a deep breath here if you're Herko. Just relax. Clean slate. Runners on first and second. The pitch. High for ball 1. And here if you're Pendley, you got to take your time and get back into your groove. 1-0 the count. 2 outs, runners on first and second. Pick off the attempt, step back just to check on his runner at second, and he will not go anywhere. Harrison Kaufman reached on a single to get things going here for the Blackfins in the top of the first. Huge lead, the pitch. Off his bat, foul hit him. So bases loaded now. Back-to-back singles and a hit by pitch here from Dane Pendley. So now the bases are loaded. 2 outs with the bases loaded. The bases were not loaded until 2 outs. Back-to-back outs at the start of the top of the first, but now it's 2 singles and a hit by pitch, and now Here comes Bryce Lindenberg. As that pitch down low for a ball, 1-0. Really here, Pendley just got to take his time, take a deep breath, slow down, and get back in that groove that he had for the first 2 at-bats. So 1-0 the count. A quick little conversation at the mound. It's a good spent one in my opinion. I think it's a very well spent meeting here. Runners are on every base, first, second, and third. The bases are loaded. And one thing we say at Grand Junction, Colorado, if you've ever been there, I've gotten the chance to be there twice for my Cali Tigers team. I always like to call it, they taught me something there. When the bases are loaded, you say the hot dog is loaded. That's what they say in Grand Junction, so I kind of stole that from them. So right now, the hot dog is loaded. You'll hear that from me a few times tonight as the game continues. But back in the action here as Bryce Lindenberg going to try to get things going on a 1-0 count with the bases loaded. The pitch swung on, fouled away, 1-1. What is Lindenberg going to do here? If you're the Blackfins here, you are very happy about where you're at after going back-to-back outs in the beginning. You just have been lucky, got some good singles, and your breaks a little bit on your side. You know, a pitch goes off Pendley and keeps these going, as that's going to be swung on right to the shortstop, and he'll make the tag to get out of the bases loaded 2-out jam. So, midway through first, your scores all tied up at 0. We'll be back. You're watching the NBC World Series, powered by Evergy.
Okay, Charles, one bill forecasting tool.
Thanks, Cheryl.
You want any weekly usage reports with that?
Oh, that sounds tempting.
It's on the house.
Oh, well, I guess I'd better. Oh, Cheryl, before I forget, can I get the mobile app to go?
Yeah, you got it.
How do you take your energy? With Evergy, you choose from our new tools and options built to work for you.
What did he order?
Evergy, the utility company.
Let's come back a little bit early and talk about the defensive lineup here for the Seattle Blackfins. We'll go back and talk about the Hayes Larks in just a second. But playing first base is going to be Alex Harden. The second baseman is going to be Austin Santiago. Playing third is going to be Harrison Kaufman. Playing shortstop is going to be Ryan Jeffries. In left field, Zion Williamson. I'm going to say Williamson all night long. It's Zion Williams. My apologies. In center field, we have Bryce Lindenberg. And in right field, we have Kai Herko. And pitching today for the Blackfins is going to be Josiah O'Bannon. That is the defensive lineup for the Seattle Blackfins. A little bit of music here. We're going to try to keep talking, keep that rolling, and hopefully not get a copyright strike on the NBC World Series YouTube page. That's not good. The Hayes Larks going to see how they can do at bat-wise, as Trent Baker are going to lead things off for the Larks. Both teams here are 1-1 in the start of this World Series, so it'll be very interesting to see what happens. And they're playing for important seeding here. What side of the bracket they're going to be on, who they'll be playing. First pitch going to be swung on a roller to third, throw to first. In time. Should be. It is. Great play there by the third baseman for the Blackfins. Harrison Kaufman made the throw to first, easy to Alex Harden. Harden had to struggle a little bit to catch the ball, but got it done. So that's 1 out. 1 pitch, 1 out. And now that's going to bring on Damian Ruiz. Hitting 167 so far this World Series. First pitch in there for a strike. 0-1. With nobody on, 1 out here in the bottom of the first. Lots of baseball left to go. We got a long night here, ladies and gentlemen. First pitch going to be high. Second pitch going to be high for a ball, 1-1. So 1-1 the count. The pitch on the way. In there for a strike. 1-2. Who's going to score first? is the question. Saw a little bit of momentum there on the Blackfin side late, but the Hayes Larks defense gets out of it late in the inning. 2-2 the count here on 1 out. Right now, Damian Ruiz trying to get something going. The pitch swung on, and that will get through left field for a base hit, and that is the first hit for the Hayes Larks. Damian Ruiz starting things off hot for the Hayes Larks. So now with the runner on first, only 1 out. Time to see what the Hayes Larks can do as Lenny Ashby comes up. I have heard this name multiple times in NBC World Series history. We've seen him do lots of good things here at the NBC World Series. His name is thrown around a lot when you talk about the past few years at the NBC World Series. Man hits bombs. We'll see what he can do today. 1 pitch in there. The inside corner to make it 2-0. So 2-0 the count. 1 out, runner on first. Ashby looking for his pitch. That pitch inside. Make it 3-0. I've noticed how all pitches have been inside there as we take a good look at O'Bannon. He really wants to pitch inside. Don't give Ashby a pitch that he likes, because if you do, that one might be out of the ballpark. 3-0 the count. The pitch. High ball 4. 4 pitches, 4 walks. So they'll walk Lenny Ashby, and that's going to bring up Tyler LaRue with runners on first and second. See what LaRue can do here. He's batting 125. The pitch, first pitch swung on there. Really wanted it to make the count at 0-1. Always love everybody tuning into the NBC World Series live on YouTube. Got to shout out BCTV for doing their great job. They've also been here all day. Shout out to Tyler. Shout out to Matt doing the hard work over there across the press box. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have a good stream as the count's at 1-1. The pitch, runner goes, throw to third. Not in time, and that is a stolen base for Damian Ruiz. Lenny Ashby stays at first, but now runners on the corners. 1-2 to count, 1 out. How is O'Bannon going to get out of this? We'll see. 1-2, the pitch. Inside, almost hit him. 2-2 the count now with 1 out. Yeah, but once again, I want to thank Butler County TV for doing what they do. This stream would not be possible without them. They do a great job. 2-2 the count. 1 out the pitch. Swung on foul on the third base side. Nice play there. So we had 2-2 to count, 1 out. The swing, and that's going to drop for a base hit in left field. An RBI single will score 1, and it's all the way back in the yard. Make that an RBI double. Another run is going to try to score. Ashby will score an RBI double there for not only a great play, it doesn't matter. Tyler LaRue says, watch this, I'm going to hit the ball all the way back to the warning track in left field for an RBI double, and gives the Larks a 2-0 lead. That is exactly what you want if you're the Hayes Larks. Get the momentum on your side early. We are only in the bottom of the first with 1 out. Exactly what you needed. And now John Sisoli going to be up to plate, and he's going to get a nice hit. Throw to first in time. So good play there by the third baseman for the Seattle Blackfins, Harrison Kaufman, for the 2nd out. Sisoli just really kind of wanted something there. So Garrett Gruel going to be up to plate now. The DH for the Larks. 2 outs with the runner on second. Great job there by Tyler LaRue clearing the bases. And a balk is called, so LaRue will be able to reach third base now. Drew makes that easy little trot to third. The pitch. High and inside for a ball. Hayes Larks, of course, you know Frank Leo, NBC Hall of Famer. The pitch. Swung on there for a strike 1-1. What is Garrett Garul going to try to get going here? Runner on in scoring position at third. The pitch. Inside, lost the ball. It's going to be an easy score. And the Larks take a 3-0 lead in the bottom of the first. We'll see what Mike Dean scores that. Should be a wild pitch, and it is. So on a wild pitch. LaRue's going to reach home. 2-1 count, 2 outs, the pitch, swung on, fouled back 2-2. Larks doing what Hayes Larks fans want to see. Score early and keep the pedal to the metal. The pitch. Swung on, a little roller straight to third, throw to bobble, throw to first. In time. Good job there by the third baseman for the Blackfins. Yet again, Harrison Kaufman had a lot of action that inning. Bobbled the ball, still got it to first. So the Larks score 3 at the end of 1. You're watching the NBC World Series powered by Evergy live on YouTube. We'll be right back.
In Kansas, the oil and gas business is often a family business that can span generations.
We're a 4-generation Kansas oil family.
Oil and gas revenue supports our ranching and farming operations through good years and bad.
We work together as good stewards of the land.
You might be surprised to know there hasn't been one drop of groundwater pollution from hydraulic fracturing in Kansas over the past 40 years. Get the facts about Kansas oil and natural gas.
Oil and natural gas keeps this Kansas family
strong.
Back here in beautiful Wichita, Kansas, as we start things off here in the top of the first. The Blackfins got to get something going, already being down 3-0 as the first baseman, Alex Harden, going to get things going here in the top of the second. First pitch, high for ball 1-0. What are the Blackfins going to do to respond? How are they going to react? How are they going to keep their cool? 1-0 the pitch. Swung on a high fly ball to right field, and that will drop just foul. 1-1 the count. So 1-1 the count here in the top of the second. Blackfins looking to respond. We want to thank everybody watching on YouTube. Always means the world. 219 people watching right now. As that's going to be a roller straight to first, and there to make the play is going to be the first baseman for the Larks, John Sasorli. Coley, my apologies. It's going to bring up Mike Snyder, the catcher for the Blackfins. Clean slate, first pitch. Did he go? I'm going to say he did. 0-1 the count. Look close from up here. 0-1 the pitch. Swung on, fouled away. 0-2. So 0-2 the count here in the top of the first. Hayes Larks take a 3-0 lead in the bottom of the first. We're actually in the top of the second. My apologies. 0-2. The pitch. High for ball 1-1-2. It might be 10:55 at night here in Wichita, but the Hayes Larks fans still travel. The pitch, just a bit inside there for a ball to make it 2-2. So 2-2 the count, 1 out. The pitch on the way. Swung on a little roller straight to the shortstop. Throw to first. Will be in time for the second out of the inning. Nice play there by the shortstop, Austin Jaslove. Back to black, round out for the Blackfins. Good defense by the Hayes Larks, as that's going to bring up the 9-hole hitter, Austin Santiago. With 2 outs here. The first pitch to Santiago is swung on foul. 0-1. 10:57 here local time. Only 8 o'clock in Seattle, so if you're watching, I want to say early evening to you. 0-1 to count. The pitch. Outside and down low for a ball. 1-1. Katie Woods, tournament director, should be coming up pretty soon. Anytime now for an interview. 1-1 the pitch. Swung on, fouled. Lots of foul balls in the Seattle Blackfins dugout area today. So 1-2 to count with 2 outs. 1-2. The pitch on the way. Down low. For a ball to make it 2-2. For being such a late game, lots of fans here. You know, Hayes Lark fans, as I mentioned, do travel very well. Hayes Lark faithful alive and well. They just love the NBC World Series. Who doesn't love the NBC World Series? You know, starting the game at 10:30 is part of the NBC World Series. It's a part of the fun ride that you get to take every single day. And I wouldn't want to be anywhere else in the world during this week. So 2-2 the count. The pitch. Swung on a little chopper. Straight to the pitcher. Makes the play. Throw to first. Not in time. A wild throw. And there to run the second, trying to, and he will make it. Good job there by Austin Santiago to be aware and make sure he gets to second base. Should be a hit and a throwing error, but we'll confirm with Mike Dean. Waiting for the official scorekeeper's call. He's getting out his handy-dandy cards, which we always love to see. Waiting for it. It's got to be a hit in there, but he's got him that way. Yep, we got a hit and an error. That's exactly what I thought it was going to be. So they'll give Santiago a single. He reaches on the second base with an error. And back to the top of the lineup we go for the Blackfins. Ryan Jeffries, 0 for 1 with the flyout here. So just a bad throw by Pengelly, my apologies. That pitch going to be down low for a ball to make it 1-1. So Pengelly just had a rough throw to first. Really, you got to think all that momentum and all that adrenaline after you catch that ball has to affect that throw. You're just so excited, but you got to just take a deep breath for a second and make that throw to first. 1-1 the count. Runner on second, the pitch. Swung on there for a strike. 1-2. Clocked at 83 miles an hour. On the radar gun we have here at Wichita State University. X Stadium, Tyler Field is the location of the 89th annual NBC World Series powered by Evergy. I want to thank everybody watching on YouTube. If you're around the area, the pitch swung on there for strike 3, and that is going to end the top of the second inning. The Larks still lead 3-0. You're watching the NBC World Series live on YouTube. We'll be right back.
As general manager of Mel Hamilton Ford for 11 years, I know what customers are looking for. Great service with certified technicians, a great sales experience with plenty of inventory to choose from. And don't forget, parts and other gear to take care of all your racing needs. So when you decide who you want to do business with, choose us, Mel Hamilton Ford, and experience the difference. Hey, you know what I'm always asking myself? Is work supposed to be this much fun?
Back here in beautiful Wichita, Kansas. To the bottom of the second, the Hayes Larks look to advance their lead, already being up 3 runs, 3-0. Only in the bottom of the second, plenty of baseball left to go. The pitch swung on there for a strike 0-1. As the shortstop, Austin Jaslove, going to be at the plate here. Looks like his nickname is Jazzy, as you hear that on the crowd mic. 0-2 the count for Jaslove. Great start here by O'Bannon. First pitch, third pitch, swung on a high fly ball. In light center field, will it drop? Oh my goodness, a collision made in light center field, but the catch still happens there. By the second baseman, traveled a long way to make that catch. But Austin Santiago makes the play after running in to almost his center fielder and second baseman. So interesting play there. But it's going to bring up Brady Evans, as that's going to be swung on foul, 0-1. So what are the Larks going to do here in the bottom of the second? I want to thank everyone watching again, 253 of you guys. Always means the world that you guys are tuning in to the NBC World Series powered by Evergy. Pitch going to be outside there for a ball, 1-1. If you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button and that bell notification icon. Stick around. We got lots of baseball left to go this week, and if you can't make it out to the ballpark, you know where to watch it, right here on YouTube. The pitch inside for a ball to make it 2-1. One thing about playing a little bit of these late night games, or the bugs are really flying close to the lights. Late night baseball is just such a different vibe. I love it. 2-1 the pitch, inside again for ball 3. There's just something about it. The lights, the kind of quietness. No one's really driving on the road on 21st behind the ballpark. Everything is just chill and very relaxed. The pitch inside, ball 4, walked him. So a walk for Brady Evans is going to bring up Lucas Garcia. The second walk of the night for O'Bannon. So we'll see how Luis Garcia answers after coming up with a walk from Evans. First at bat for Garcia, the pitch inside and high. 4-ball, 1-0. How are the Blackfins going to answer? Again, this very huge playoff implications both ways. And that pitch is going to be a high fly ball to right field, just foul in the bullpen area. Makes the count 1-1 with 1 out. Lots of ones on the scoreboards. 1-1-1 in the bottom of the second. The pitch just a bit outside there for a ball, 2-1. Just love night baseball. I really do. It's hard to describe unless you're at the ballpark, because that pitch is going to be inside and down low. The people that stick around when I've heard so many people talk about baseball around the clock and stuff like that. The people that stick around for a game that starts at 10:30 are either diehard Larks fans, diehard Seattle fans, or they just love baseball. And that's what I love most about it, is that pitch is going to be shot hard into the scoreboard over by the Minuteman room. And boy, that one had a very loud-sounding hit off that scoreboard. Probably put a little dent in that one. So the count is full. The payoff pitch on the way with 1 out. Ooh, called strike 3. Garcia thought he had a walk there, but the home plate umpire, Josh Shepis, had another idea and said, nope, buddy, you can go back to the dugout. That was strike 3. That is the first strikeout for O'Bannon. Back to the top of the lineup we go for Trent Baker. Baker 0 for 1 with the ground out today. Pitch inside, down low. Sorry, outside, down low. One out the count. 2 outs. The pitch on the way. In there for a strike. Good frame there by the catcher for the Blackfins. Made sure that got back into the strike zone fast, Mike Snyder. 1-1 the pitch. Swung on there for a strike. 1-2 just a tad bit late. And you can see there that Trent Baker doesn't bat with normal gloves. Looks like he's got those very hard workers gloves on there. One guy, that used to do that went to Butler, Bryce Zimmerman. Is that pitch going to be down low for a ball 2-2? Bryce Zimmerman actually played on the summer team that I called baseball for, the Mulvane Patriots. A very interesting fella. Really like him. So the count's 2-2. Deuce is wild. Kevin Jinks making an appearance in the media area. Always love seeing him up here. The pitch. High for a full count. So full count here, 2 outs. Can the Larks capitalize with the runner in scoring position at second? We will have to see. Full count. Payoff pitch on the way with 2 outs. The pitch. Swung on a little roller. Right to the second baseman, throw to first. Easy play in time. Good job there by the second baseman, Austin Santiago, to get it there in time. So they get the third out. We will head to the top of the third. Hayes Larks still lead 3-0. We'll be right back. You're watching the NBC Series World Series live on YouTube.
At Spirit, engineering is a key to defense success. Spirit Aerosystems engineers are leveraging commercial design-build expertise for defense programs. We move from design to development to the factory floor faster. At Spirit, engineers work with research and technology teams to develop new materials, apply factory automation, and build cost and production efficiencies into each project.
Back here in beautiful Wichita, Kansas for the 89th Annual NBC World Series powered by Evergy. You're watching this game live on YouTube. Can't do anything without BCTV, Butler County Community College. As we are going to head to the top of the third inning, the Blackfins going to lead things off, and my golly, I haven't heard that all day, so that really had a little jump scare on me. They're not going to give a penalty ball or strike there. So the first pitch, swung on, fouled for a strikeout, 1 the count. Here for Zion Williams. That pitch going to be high and inside for ball 1-1. Blackfins had a little bit of life in the top of the first with the bases loaded, 2 outs. Couldn't get any runs across the board. The pitch down low for a ball. Good pitch to make the count 2-1. A lot of baseball left to go for both these teams. 2-1 the pitch. Swung on a 3-mile high fly ball in foul territory. And there to make the catch is the third baseman for the Larks. Great catch there by Tyler LaRue. Took his time. When I tell you that ball was high, the press box here is decently high. and it went above the All-American Club, which is even higher than that. So I'm going to give it about a 2-mile high, 3-mile high fly out there is going to bring up Harrison Kaufman, who is 1 for 1 with a single. The pitch swung on another very high fly ball in the infield, and under it to make the play is going to be Luis Garcia. So back-to-back flyouts here for the Seattle Blackfins. And now that is going to bring Josiah O'Bannon up. Pitches and hits. A little bit of softball action there. You see multi-useful pitchers every once in a while. I know Wichita State had one, Peyton Tolley. Fortunately, he entered the transfer portal for all the Shockers fans around there. He played for the Santa Barbara Foresters last year, actually. Came and played the World Series here on Wichita State's campus. Started a game for the Foresters. That pitch going to be swung on there for a strike. 0-2 the count here for O'Bannon. So 0-2, 2 outs, nobody on here in the top of the third. Blackfins down 3-0. The pitch swung on a high fly ball back in the shallow center field. And there to make the catch. Man, that's a tough catch to play. Is the center fielder for the Hayes Larks. What an amazing play there by Trent Baker. Really had to sprint to get that ball. That was in shallow center or left center, and he still made the play. So we'll head to the bottom of the third. Your score is still 3-0. You're watching the NBC World Series powered by Evergy live on YouTube. We'll be right back.
At Evergy, we're focused not just on what we power, but on who we power, right here in our community. We provide payment assistance to our neighbors who need it. Invest in organizations and people, creating opportunity for all to benefit. And volunteer our time around our hometown so that together we improve it. Because we're committed to spreading good energy throughout our community. Evergy, the utility company.
All of this streaming is possible by BCTV, Butler Community College. The pitch. Outside for a ball, make it 2-1. For those of you who don't know who I am, I went to another junior college in the area called Cali College. It is about an hour and a half from Butler, and we play each other a lot in sports, and you get to really see that those rivals grow, and it's pretty fun to see both the teams really play, but I'm very impressed with how Butler has handled everything here. They've done a very, very, very good job, and I'd love to see it as that roller is to the shortstop, throw to first, not in time, so that is going to be back-to-back singles there for Damian Ruiz. So, yeah, I can't thank Butler enough for all the hard work they put in. They get here early, set up all the cameras, make sure everything is working, and provide a very quality stream for you guys to see at home. And obviously you guys are enjoying it. We're seeing these view counts the whole World Series, and live we have 241 people. As that ball is going to be in shallow center field, will it drop? No. Great job there by the second baseman for the Blackfins, Austin Santiago, to get a jump on that ball and make the catch. So this is going to bring up the dangerous hitter, Tyler LaRue. Tyler LaRue was 1 for 1 with an RBI double, scored both those runs. See what happens here with a runner on first. Clean slate, runner goes. Throw to second, not in time, so that is going to be a stolen base for Damian Ruiz. So here we go, 1-0 the count. The pitch. Down low and outside for a ball to make it 2-0. Larks looking to extend their lead here, as Ruiz is at second. 2-0 the count. The pitch. Outside, down low again, 3-0. So Tyler LaRue trying to continue to grow his NBC World Series resume. Started the day off with an RBI double. 3-0 the count. Pitch on the way. Down low for ball 4 and walked him. So now runners on first and second, 1 out. And we have a very special guest stepping into the broadcast booth. The tournament director herself, Miss Katie Woods. Katie, how are we doing today?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm doing great. It's a great day to call some baseball. We were talking about earlier how the baseball gods were nice to us yesterday, but you know, in classic NBC World Series fashion, they said, we're going to keep you a little bit later today, so watch the late baseball.
You know, you just need a little extra baseball.
Yeah.
There's never enough NBC baseball.
There is never enough. So overall, how do you think this tournament's going so far this year?
You know, it's been really fun. There's a great field this year.
And that's a double steal. Will it drop fair? No, foul, but they sent both their runners. They really wanted that double steal. Definitely a swing and run there for both players. It's been super fun to kind of see different angles of the World Series this year. We've had some really fun games, some long games. Overall, it's been great baseball the whole time, though.
Yeah, it really feels like there's an evenly matched field this year.
Yes.
You know, I mean, there really is kind of any game could go any way. There's been some surprises, and it's fun to see some of these new teams play, too.
It is super fun. What do you think the most surprising thing of this year's World Series has been?
On the field?
Yes.
Oh.
It's a tough one.
It is. You know, I mean, it's just been really interesting to see some of these teams. Great Bend's come out really hot. Yep. So that's been interesting to see them. It's been fun to see the it's been fun to see the Blackfins play.
Yeah.
Just with a team that's never been here before, coming as the PIL champions, and just kind of see what they can put on the field and how they compete with the field too.
And I think that's one thing that NBC World Series fans love to see: new teams, new competition. And I think it's fun to see how they react, how their first time, and they've done a really good job this year, and they've advanced to bracket play, which is super cool to see.
Yeah, you know, another one that's been a fun surprise too is Hutchinson and the Monarchs. Yep. They were they clinched their spot. I think it was Friday or Saturday before the tournament.
And that's back-to-back walks here for the Seattle Blackfins. Load the bases with only 1 out. Very dangerous here. So we have a developing story here for sure for the Hayes Larks to see how this will continue.
And then Hutchinson's turned around and won all 3 of their all 3 of their pool play games, you know, so they've advanced with the bye, and they'll just be really fun to see how they do in single elimination.
And you see the Monarchs fans travel. They travel a lot, and that's going to score a run off a hit by pitch. And not happy with that pitch is Garrett Gruhl, but he'll take his free base and score yet another run. So now the Hayes Larks extend their lead, making it 4-0. And obviously got to have a quick conversation at the mound here. Calms things down with the bases loaded. Gives us some more time to talk to tournament director Katie Woods. When you got this job, when you really wanted it, what was the first thing that you wanted to kind of change and continue to grow here at this World Series?
You know, the NBC's got so much history, and it's just got such a great fan base. People have so much, they have so many stories and memories and traditions, and so I think for that, just to introduce the NBC to the next generation of super fans and get more people in the stands, more people to understand some of these great rivalries, I think that's what the goal is.
And finding that new location, starting to work with Wichita State and realizing that this is probably the new home for NBC. How did you have to realize, we have to do what's best for this World Series by bringing it back to Wichita?
Yeah, I mean, we've had such great partners outside of Wichita, too. Hobart Detter up in Hutchinson is an awesome ballpark and has such great character and just a great feel. But it is a tournament that's always been in Wichita. Oh.
And that's another hit by pitch. It's going to score another run. You see a little bat flip, flipping back as he will make his way to first. That's back-to-back hit by pitches, and you know the Blackfins are really going to start warming up things in the bullpen, as that now makes it a 5-0 lead for the Hayes Larks with the bases still loaded and only one out.
So they've got two arms going up there.
Yeah, that's super fun to see. But overall, you know, you've been with the Sports Commission for 2 years. Last year you had a different role, stepping into this big chair. It was super awesome to see. Last year when you started, what were some things that you noticed about the NBC World Series as soon as you came?
Yeah, you know, I had some background with the NBC World Series. My uncle managed the Bellingham Bells in 1999 when they came out to NBC, so I knew about it. But to be able to really learn more and more about the history and the tradition and the caliber of baseball.
And that's a nice line drive foul on the left side. Good hit, just needed to time that a little bit earlier.
So I think that was a big part of it, is just there's such a legacy here. I mean, 89 years of an event like this all in one city. It was something that it just felt like really special for me to be able to take the reins and kind of bring it into the next generation.
Let's dive a little bit deeper into, why do you love baseball? What got you into baseball?
It was kind of by accident, to be honest with you. I grew up, my dad's a basketball coach, so I grew up around basketball and, you know, in the gym a lot and traveling with the team and all of that. So I've always loved sports. And then when I was looking for internships, I ended up interning with the Houston Astros. And then that kind of started my baseball career. So I went from the Astros to the Frisco Rough Riders, which are the AA affiliate of the Rangers, and then up to the Everett Aqua Sox in the Northwest League, the Lancaster Jethawks in the California League, and then out to Wichita.
That's crazy to think about. That's going to be a chance for double play. 5-4-3. Did they get it? Yes, they did. A 5-4-3 double play to end the bottom of the third. The Hayes Larks still score 2, so we'll be back. Score 5-0. You're listening to the NBC World Series powered by Evergy live on YouTube. We'll be right back.
And I have had a student in this very class.
Jay was drawing something up.
Back here in beautiful Wichita, Kansas for the 89th annual NBC World Series powered by Evergy. With me in the booth is still NBC World Series Tournament Director Katie Woods. Katie, what has been one of your favorite fan bases so far this year?
You know, it's really fun because...
And there's that horn. See if they give it to them. Penalty ball or strike. Looks like they won't.
Every fan base just has their own flair. You know, they come just with different energies, and some of them travel really well.
And a surprise square to bunt there. Will it get there in time? And it will. Wow, that's a way to start the top of the fourth inning with a surprise bunt, and it worked there for Kaya Herco. That's a great job there.
I mean, Hayes is one of those teams that travels really well.
Yeah, which is it's 11:25 at night, and they stuck around during the feature game to make sure they could see their Hayes Larks play. It's super cool to watch.
It is.
So here we go, clean slate here. Runner on first, no outs. And that is going to bring up Bryce Lindenberg here for the Blackfins. He grounded out his first time up. Pitch, high and inside. Right now, Pendley just needs to slow down a little bit and continue to get back into his groove. You know, you've been around the Sports Commission for 2 years. You get to see a lot of different things. You obviously work the World Series. Get to see Buster Posey every year. That's a nice hit by pitch there, and that one hurt. They're thinking it was maybe foul. but they're going to say it was a hit by pitch. And he will advance to first base. So Lindenberg reaches on a hit by a pitch. They're arguing that it was possibly foul, but umpire says it. We're going to continue to play on, as that is going to bring up Alex Harden. 0 for 1 with a ground out today. Runners on first and second here with the Blackfins, no outs. And the Hayes Larks obviously not thrilled about that last call. Frank Leo speaks his mind, lets him know what's going on. NBC Hall of Famer, most wins in NBC tournament history. Cool little fun fact there if you didn't know about it. And Shepis is going to just let him know, hey, we're good. We're going to keep things going. So with runners on first and second, this could be interesting here with no outs. This could be what the Blackfins needed. So we're waiting on the first pitch. Here it is. Swung on, and that will get through for a base hit. Will he send him? He will. Long throw to first to home. Going to be not in time. 1 run will score, so the Blackfins are on the board. That's a nice hit there, Katie.
It was.
Really took his time, realized when he needed to swing, decided, you know what, I'm going on the first pitch, a little hectic right now. So now runners stay on first and second, no outs, but the Blackfins are on the board. I'm trying to remember what I was going to ask you, Katie. It just got really interesting really fast.
There's been a lot of action there.
There really has. Oh, yes, so we were talking about the Sports Commission. You know, you get to meet Buster Posey, a bunch of new people on this side. Why did you want to become the tournament director? What made you want to become the tournament director for the NBC?
You know, there were 2 things that really made it stand out to me. One was last year when we played up at Hobart Detter in Hutchinson, and the atmosphere of that ballpark is just great. The way people talk about the NBC and just talk about the atmosphere, talk about it's such a community event. I could feel that at Hobart Detter. You know, it just really felt like that. And then the other thing was listening to Barry Aiden from the Studs last year talk, and he tells a story about how he remembers baseball around the clock and a game where I think he started at 4 a.m., something like that, with the lights on. And by the 7th inning, the sun was coming up, so they turned the lights off. And he talks about...
And runner's going to advance first and second there on a wild pitch. So this is going to be really interesting here for the Blackfins. You know, it is late. You don't want too much phase to get into. You don't want that tiredness to sink in now. You just got to keep things going, hopefully keep the adrenaline going. No one warming up in the Larks bullpen yet. They seem okay with their pitcher so far.
Barry talks about how his son was a bat boy and then a player and then a coach, and how he's brought his team for 30 years. And so to see that kind of tradition, which the Hayes Larks have the same thing, you know, where they've come out for decades and really have a rich NBC history. To me, it felt like an honor to be able to bring that kind of the next generation of baseball fans. We've introduced some things like TrackMan this year. USA Baseball came out and did performance testing for the players.
That's going to be swung on into left field. It will drop, so another run will score. Runner stays at first and third, so runners on the corners. An RBI single there for the Blackfins, starting to heat up. Mike Snyder with that hit. Great job.
You weren't joking about a lot of action this inning.
Nope. Katie Woods came up, and the Blackfins bats woke up. It's going to bring up Austin Santiago. He is 1 for 1 with the single today. So now, just like that, it's a 3-run ball game, and the Blackfins really starting to wake up with no outs on the board. Frank Leo's going to come out for a quick conversation, and a pitcher will head out to the bullpen.
I think it's the pitching coach heading out there.
Oh, my apologies.
So, I mean, you've had 5 years at the NBC.
Yes. I've had a blast. I've always liked talking about this story. I was 18 years old, didn't know anything about baseball, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to call a summer ball team in Mulvane, my hometown, and grew to love the sport. And I was working up here for the Sunflower Collegiate League, which is now the Jayhawk, at Wichita State, and one of the NBC staff members comes in and goes, hey, you want to work the NBC World Series? And I was like, sure, why not? I'll call the 11 a.m. game, because obviously no one wants to call that game, get up that early.
Right.
So I was like, yeah, I'm 18 years old. I'll come do it. Well, I came in the day before, and I realized, hey, they actually need some more volunteers. So I worked every day that tournament, only 18 years old, have no idea what I'm doing. 5 years later, I'm still here, and I've enjoyed it every single year. It's always new memories, you know, whether it's the tarp pole, whether it's anything. I always come out of this World Series with new memories, and I'm hooked for life, and next year is going to be super cool with year 90.
Well, and you're like a jack of all trades. I think you're everywhere at the tournament at this point.
I love it. I've worked the streaming side. I love doing on-field promotions. I was an intern last year. Got to really see the growth of the NBC World Series. So it's just fun to watch all together.
I think I saw you signing autographs the other day.
Not yet. Not yet, but soon. I can see that happening someday. Andrew, we need your autograph. That would be crazy. This has just been, it's been a fun day today, you know. It's been really fun to watch all games. We've kind of had a little bit of craziness everywhere, whether it's 11 runs scored in the top of the 9th inning to win the game, or 4 to 5 errors early. Is that's going to be a bunt? Will it get through in time? Go to first, in time for the out. So that is the first out for the Hayes Larks. Needed that. Runner stays at third, and we're going to head back to the top of the lineup for the Blackfins with Ryan Jeffries. If you're a Blackfins fan, you just need to continue to chip away at this run lead here. You've got it down to 3. Can you get it closer with runners in scoring position at second and third is the question. Katie, I think someone asked for your autograph earlier, too.
No, not yet.
Yeah, soon. When you have your own baseball with your signature on it, that's when it's going to get really cool.
Exactly.
That's one thing that not a lot of people get to notice is every NBC baseball is authenticated with someone's signature, and the new tournament director this year is going to get some of her own signed baseballs, which is super cool. Not a lot of people get to know about that.
Yeah, so for the tournament, we use balls that have Hap Dumont's signature on them. You know, Hap started the tournament in 1935. But we also have NBC stock baseballs, and those have the tournament director's signature on them. So those will have my signature on them, which is pretty neat.
It's pretty cool, and that's going to drop for a base hit. We'll score 1. Are they going to send 2? They will not. So a good RBI single for the top of the lineup there for Ryan Jeffries, and just like that, the lead's cut into 2. So right now, Dane Pendley just needs to slow down a little bit here. With runners on the corners, serious warm-up here in the bullpen for the Hayes Larks over there. Man, just overall, it's just been a great tournament so far. I know I've said that multiple times, but it's just fun to watch.
It's felt like great energy at the ballpark
Yes.
this year.
You see more fans. You see the promotions are doing great, too. And it's just that environment. And like I was telling people, late-night games like this, you have to be a really true baseball fan to stick around and just watch baseball.
Yeah, 10:35 first pitches don't necessarily draw out huge crowds, but like you said, there's still diehards here, and they'll be here for every pitch.
Yes, they will. That is going to bring up Zion Williams for the Blackfins. The pitch swung on. Will it get through? No chance for double play. 6-3. Double play, and just like that, the Hayes Larks only get around with 3 runs. That is exactly what they needed. The score is 3-5. We'll be back. You're watching the NBC World Series live on YouTube.
At Davis Moore, we treat everyone who walks through our doors like a lifelong customer. Our sales team prides themselves on delivering a quick, pressure-free buying experience that you won't find anywhere else. We have hundreds of new and pre-owned vehicles in stock, and every one of them has passed our 171-point safety and reliability inspection.
If we wouldn't buy it for ourselves, we won't sell it to you. Come see us at any Davis Moore location or check us out online at davis-moore.com.
Thanks to our hotel partners, Home 2 Suite by Good, which stop downtown Toledo. They're located in the heart of the historic downtown Toledo district. Within walking distance to many shops and restaurants. And the invite you to class until 3 p.m. because you are always welcome at Home 2.
Back here in beautiful Wichita, Kansas for the 89th annual NBC World Series powered by Evergy, here with the tournament director, Katie Woods. Katie, there's some great promotions about to happen. Let's talk about those while we have some time.
Yeah, it's funny. This tournament is almost like a whole minor league baseball season in 10 days.
Right.
You know, we play 35 games in 10 days. So tomorrow, Wednesday night, it's first responder night. So we've got that going on. And then on Thursday, we're going to have our Women in Baseball night, which I'm really excited about. We have Maybelle Blair, who's 96 years old.
Wow.
She played in the All-American Girls Professional Baseball League in the 1940s. And now she travels the country promoting women's baseball. And she's just a character. She's going to be awesome to have out. And it was really fun while we were getting her set up.
That's got to be one of the coolest things. We got a new pitcher here for the Blackfins, Andrew Stallnaker. He is a right-handed pitcher, so that's super cool. And then just so many. We also got the circus night coming up, and actually what I'm really excited about is pool play ends tonight.
Yep.
The bracket starts. Single elimination bracket starts tomorrow, so we have great games. The buys have already been selected for the first round buys. I'm really excited to watch those games tomorrow.
Yeah, we changed up the format a little bit this year, and so the top 3 out of each pool advanced, and the top team out of each pool got a bye. So the Kansas Cannons, the Hutchinson Monarchs, Santa Barbara Forcers, and Seattle Studs all have a bye, and so they've all advanced to Thursday to be in the top 8.
That's going to be super fun. And, elimination brackets, elimination games in general, just when the stakes are high, that's going to be a walk there for Luis Garcia. He takes his first walk of the game. Back to the top of the lineup for the Larks we go with Trent Baker. He's 0 for 2 today for 2 ground outs, so he wants to get on the bases here and kind of get that lead back for the Larks. The momentum kind of shifted towards the Blackfins, so the Larks need to get it back here. But overall, the single elimination bracket just brings the energy, and it's very, gets hit in the back. Owie, owie, owie from Trent Baker there. He takes it like a champ and will walk to first base. So now runners on first and second with no outs. Not the start you wanted for Andrew Stallnaker. Quick conversation going to happen on the mound here. But yeah, for the third time, the bracket is looking very interesting. I think it's going to be fun to see what happens, and that's when the energy and the stakes really rise.
Yeah, I mean, we had teams, I heard yesterday a little bit of chirping in the dugout, because it's if you get that bye and you advance to the top 8, you're already in the money. You already have $4,500 waiting for you there. And then we have $18,000 cash goes to our winner.
That's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money, and these teams are just a couple wins away from that, so the stakes are really high.
Overall, we talked about Seattle. I want to talk a little bit about Santa Barbara as well. Back-to-back champs. They're top notch. They're always coming to the NBC World Series to win the thing. Let's talk a little bit about Bill Pentard and that team. What do you think of that organization?
Oh yeah, I mean, when you don't win 3 championships in a row,
right.
if you're not a top tier organization. He always puts together a great squad.
And there's a bunt there. Will it stay fair? It will not. It will go foul. That's a good option there. I like that idea. With no outs, might as well try to take the sacrifice bunt. When you've been on base twice, as Damon Ruiz has with back-to-back singles, it'll be interesting to see what he decides to do here. Try to catch him off guard with a bunt. So we'll see what Ruiz does here. 0-1 the pitch. Swung on a mile-high fly ball into shallow right. Is it going to drop? And it will for a possible base hit. My goodness. The first baseman couldn't make the play. The right fielder thought he was going to make the play. Honestly, should have left that to Alex Harden, but the right fielder, Kai Herko, thought he could make the play, and his ball drops for, I'm going to guess, either E3 or E8. We'll see what head scorekeeper Mike Dean scores it there. Should be interesting. Wow. So still no outs, bases loaded. We're waiting on the call from Mike Dean here. I don't know. What do you think there, Katie? What would you call that one?
I think that's probably a hit. It was kind of no man's land, but I'm not Mike Dean, so I can't be making that call.
I don't know. We're going to roll with single. He didn't throw up a card. That's going to get through for a base hit. 1 run will score. Send in 2. And it will. An RBI single. Loses the ball. Throw to third. Not in time. Lots happening here as this game is just continuing to grow as Lenny Ashby hits that RBI single to score 2 runs. And just like that, the Larks back up with the lead 7-3. Games like this kind of been the story of today's NBC World Series, all over the place.
High scoring, back and forth. It's been quite a day of baseball.
What do you want to tell fans in the future? What do you want to say the future of the NBC World Series looks like?
It feels like the future is really bright for the NBC. Next year's our 90th, and I think that's going to be such a special time to get some of these classic teams, these Hall of Fame teams back. And then to get some new teams, every team I've talked to, we had 5 new teams this year, and every team I talked to, their first question was, how do I get back here next year? And so to have that reputation, I think the field's just going to get better. It's going to be better and better baseball, and we're just going to keep adding to that number of, I think we're almost to 900 major leaguers that played in the NBC, and we're just going to keep adding to it.
That's so awesome. And I don't know the official number. I think there's been 4 or 5 tournament directors before you.
No, I think I'm number 9.
Number 9.
Yep.
That's a pretty esteemed number there. That's got to be so cool to be a part of that group. I know I get to talk to most of the tournament directors right now, and they're all around checking in, see how you're doing your first year. That's got to be pretty cool. And also, you have Kevin Jinks in the office to make sure to be there and mentor you if you need any help. That's super cool.
Yeah, it's always nice to have questions, especially when we get into the bracket and we get into when we were in pool play and we were down to tiebreaker number 4 and all the scenarios. I mean, he's done this so many times.
And that pitch was really high hit inside, almost hit him there to make the count at 3-1. As the temperature starts to rise again for the Hayes Larks, looking to continue to grow this lead.
Yeah, but it's been great. Jerry Taylor's here helping out. Steve Schott and I, he reached out. It's just been great to have Josh Robertson. We'll be inducting him into the NBC Hall of Fame on Saturday.
It's going to be awesome. And loses the bat and it flies away. Swung on there to make it a full count. Lost track of his bat there. And that is one thing. You've only been around for 2 years, but you understand. You can see the NBC family. These people that are not the tournament director anymore or that are not a key role, they still come back to watch, or they're here to volunteer and help because this tournament means so much to them.
Well, Mike Dean, our official scorer, this is his 40th NBC World Series.
His runner is going to go, but it doesn't matter. It was a walk. So the bases are loaded, no outs. And this could get ugly fast here for the Blackfins. They got to kind of lock it in and get an out here for sure. As that's going to bring up John Sisoli. He's playing first today. And we'll keep Katie around for a little bit longer. If a pitching change happens, we'll get her out of here. She's got lots of things to do to get ready for bracket plays. Thank you so much for coming up here and taking some time out of your night. Always means a lot as that pitch is inside. It's just fun. It's just really fun. 40 years for Mike Dean. Mike is crazy. He's awesome. He's awesome. His energy for this tournament and his love for this tournament, you can see it just bleeds out through him.
Well, the harmonica 7th inning stretch
right.
is, that's one of the NBC staples, the things that people associate with the NBC. We've got the red, white, and blue bases. We've got Mike Dean on the harmonica, the 7th inning stretch. There's just so much tradition and all these kind of small things that really make a big difference and keep people coming back for generations, which is amazing.
It's really funny. Not a lot of people understand when they hear the harmonica where that comes from
Yeah.
or who that is. And if you're not here for the first game, usually that's the only time you see Mike Dean on the field.
Yep.
So he's always hiding up here doing his work. So it's crazy to see that and what he does. I think it's just awesome. The family sticks around. They're always here. The umpires keep coming back every year. As that's going to be a really big, wild pitch. Runner will score. Runners advance to second and third. That makes it 8-3 Hayes. This could get ugly fast. We don't want it to get there. And the Blackfins need to kind of hold on to this baseball game again. But overall, it's just been fun. We're only 5 days in. We still have 5 days left to go, I think.
We'll have 4 days after
Four.
After this one, yep, 4 days to go.
It's 11:44. It's been a long day for this organization today, but it's always worth it. It's a blast. That pitch is going to be high for ball 4. Walked them, and this could be the pitching change. We're waiting for the call. There's the call. So we'll be back. Katie, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for taking some of your time out tonight. I know it's going to be a crazy few days, but we're excited to have it.
It's awesome. Thanks so much for having me, and thanks for doing everything you do.
Of course. Thank you guys so much. We'll be right back and tell you who this new pitcher is. Thank you. I know that was rough, but thank you.
Have you ever needed to stop or change the way you do something you love because of aches, pains, or injury? The physical therapists at NovaCare are here to get you back to work, life, and your favorite activities. Most importantly, your goals are their goals. Their movement experts will listen and develop an individualized treatment plan so you can heal. Begin care faster by requesting an appointment today at novacare.com. Experience the power of physical therapy at NovaCare.
here we go. Tyler Duffy. Okay, number 30. Back here in beautiful Wichita, Kansas. The gift just keeps on giving. I got another guest up here in the booth. Matt Jacobs, the man, the myth, the legend, the guy that's kind of in charge of this whole thing when it comes to BC TV. Awesome to have him in the booth with me.
Well, it's good to be here, and it's fun to be a part of the NBC tournament and yet another iteration.
I know.
I came to these games at Lawrence Dumont from the time I was probably 10 years old, so
Wow.
we're talking about rolling up on, gosh, almost 40 years of coming to the NBC as a fan.
That's crazy.
And then I really kind of fell in love with the game of baseball and writing sports, and so for a while I was the sports editor for the El Dorado Times. I took over the sports department at the El Dorado Times in the summer of 1996.
Wow.
Just in time for the El Dorado Broncos to win the NBC tournament
That's awesome.
at Lawrence Dumont. I remember driving over one night. One of their games was supposed to start at 10 o'clock, and we didn't get underway until about 1 o'clock that morning. So kind of like this situation here.
That's what happens. It happens a lot, doesn't it?
Yep, saw the Broncos win the tournament in 96, and then I was also covering them in the summer of 98 when they won the tournament again. So a lot of very fond memories for me watching as a kid and then coming back and covering them as a newspaper man later on in life.
Super cool. And, you know, you got to see a lot of NBC Hall of Famers in those El Dorado Broncos teams. So it's really cool to see what happens as they travel.
Yeah, I mean, they were bringing in guys from all over the country. And, you know, back then they used to have the NBC Midwest Regional tournament that would be played over at McDonald's Stadium in El Dorado. So I got to cover a lot of NBC baseball before the World Series and then, of course, during the World Series as well.
Now you kind of have a different role here, running the streams. How does that feel? What's the difference, and how are you enjoying it so far?
You know, in my previous NBC experiences, I could go home when I wanted to.
Very true, very, very true. Now you're here from start to finish. You guys have done a great job. It's been super cool. You know, I ran this change for the past 2 years trying to get things going, but you've done a great job here just setting the tone and making sure you know what you're doing.
We've got a pretty dynamic duo down there in the
Yes,
other
they
booth
do.
doing what they do right now, so I can come down here and talk to you. But Tyler Nordman is a guy that we brought on at Butler.
And that's going to be a base hit possibly. Let's see. Doesn't make the throw at third. Did he get him?
They said he did.
Wow.
I thought he got in there.
I thought he was safe as well, but they're going to call him out here for the first out of the inning.
So Mike Dean's going to say that's a run-scoring fielder's choice, or he's going to call it a single.
He said 1B,
All
so
right.
he's giving a single.
What do I know? But, no, we've got a really nice program going on at Butler with BCTV.
Yeah.
I left the Butler Athletic Department in 2018 to take over the campus TV station. And Tyler Nordman was the athletic director at Highland Community College at the time. And we were lucky enough to bring him over to be our associate AD to kind of replace me in athletics. And, you know, he's a younger guy than me. He's got really good energy, really great ideas, a big vision kind of guy.
I really enjoy talking to him, you know. It's been super fun to watch him and see what you guys have grown. And, you know, I think everywhere. I think streaming has become such an important thing, and also sports communications is growing so much in the college world. You know, it's a thing that people really want to start getting into.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of pioneered the athletic streaming at Butler, but, man, once we brought Tyler in, it just went to a whole other level. Of course, I finally had access to all the stuff at the TV station, which I never had access to before. So with all that gear and then with Tyler coming in with his ideas and energy, and we really ramped it up really quick.
What have been some of your favorite moments at Butler?
Streaming or just in general?
In general.
You know, this probably wouldn't be high on a lot of people's radars, but the very first time our soccer team qualified for the national tournament, 2011, we were second in the league. We were second in the region, losing to Hutch both times.
Wow. As Jaslow gets one up the middle, that will score possibly two. He hold them off, and he's still going to be safe at second. What a play. Jaslow gets through, but the runner at second got held up by Frank, and he still went anyway and scored. Makes it an 11-3 lead. Wow, the Larks came to play today.
You know, those Jayhawk Conference teams, they are
are pretty
solid. But anyway, 2011 Butler Soccer And at that point in time, they took 2 teams from the region to the district tournament. And because Hutch won the Region 6, they were hosting the district tournament over there at Hutch. So it was us two. It was the 2 of us, and then a team from Idaho and a team from Wyoming. So we beat the team from Idaho in the first round, and the team from Wyoming upset Hutch in the first round on their home field.
Wow.
So then it was Butler versus an Idaho team to go to the national tournament. We'd never been before. And the game ends up being tied all the way through, and it comes down to penalty kicks.
Oh, wow.
And it goes through the 5 penalty kicks, and then they come to the 6th penalty taker. It was a girl from Hutch High who had not been recruited by Hutch, playing on her high school field, who made the kick to send us to the national.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is such a cool story.
Yeah.
I love stories like that. I love that. That's what brings people to sports. That's what you love to sit down and watch a college football game. That's why you just love to sit down and see the story build. It's not scripted. You have no idea, especially college sports. You have no clue, especially for JUCO. These kids are 18, 19, 20 years old.
And you know what's really cool about that is that young lady married a Butler baseball player, and now they have a beautiful family. And, you know, we've had a number of those marriages over the years of, you know, Butler students getting married and having families. And so it's kind of fun to watch those families grow over the years. I mean, I've been at Butler. I was telling Tyler the other day, I've been affiliated either with the newspaper covering Butler sports or working for Butler for over a quarter century now.
That's crazy.
So, you know, I start to look at my age nearing that 50 mark, and I'm like, wow, I'm older than I thought I was.
You know, that's one thing people don't understand, junior colleges. That's going to be a walk there for Brady Evans. They just don't. Some people think JUCO's a joke and they shouldn't make that route, but then once you go, if you go, you understand you're going to make friends that you're going to have for the rest of your life no matter what. It's so cool.
It is. And, you know, and when I was in athletics, my mission was to make Butler run like a small Division I institution, you know. And I always say there's no money like D1 money.
Amen to that. Amen to that.
I heard the American might be merging with the Pac-4.
The Pac-4.
Can you imagine Wichita State baseball going to Washington State for a weekend series?
That would be crazy. That would be crazy as Luis Garcia is up to bat here for the Hayes Larks. And Hayes really taking advantage of this game. Bases loaded, only no outs. I thought there was 1 out recorded, but I could be wrong.
I thought the fielder's choice.
Right, at third, correct?
So maybe he was safe there at third. I thought he should have been, so maybe he was.
Check with he was safe. We're looking over at Tyler. He tells us he was safe. So they did signal out, but.
So, you know, we talked about Tyler. I think we should really talk about the third member of our crew over there who's been invaluable for us. His name is Garrett Hanks. He's a kid from El Dorado High, and he was set on being an accountant.
Oh, jeez.
And somehow we got him wrapped up into our program at Butler. His older brother had worked for me in the athletic department a few years before, and we got Garrett involved with athletics, and he fell in love with the streaming thing.
Awesome.
And he is the most amazing replay operator I think I've seen. And he's so good. He works the Wichita Wind Surge. We all kind of do. Usually I'm directing, and he's running replay.
Right.
A couple of weeks back, one of the MILB supervisors.
There's a hit by a pitch, and what do you know? That's going to score another run, making it 12-3. Luis Garcia reaches on a hit by a pitch. We're going to reach back to the top of the lineup where we're going with Trent Baker. Baker was hit by a pitch as well his last time up, so this could be interesting here from the Blackfins.
A lot of free passes issued by Seattle here in this ballgame.
Yes, lots and lots and lots, but yeah, let's get back to that story.
But yeah, so the MILB supervisor of officials was in town, and he wanted to take another look at one of the plays, you know, to see if his official got the call right or not.
Right.
Ends up, the guy says, you could be working for the MLB in New York.
And there's another hit by pitch. That is back-to-back hit by pitches here for Tyler Duffy, and another run scored for the Hayes Larks, making it 13-12.
13-3.
I'm sorry, yeah, 13-3, not 13-12. I don't know what my
You know what that
thinking.
does? That puts us into run rule potential.
Uh-oh. Well, I don't know now. It's good. We're going to be interesting here.
And there's still nobody out in the inning and the bases loaded, so
yeah,
you would expect Hayes to get a few more runs. But anyway, that's the kind of cool story you talk about. A kid came to Butler to be an accountant, fell in love with the world of athletic video production, and now is good enough that the MLB says you should go work for us in New York City.
It's so cool to think about, and being so young and realizing that, taking that chance, like maybe I'll give this a shot. It's things that not a lot of people want to do sometimes, They think, I'm going to do this. I want to do this. And then you go to college and you realize it's not my thing. And that's why another thing I think a junior college is the best way to go, because you can figure that out at a decent price. If you're not into being a doctor or whatever, you'll figure it out, and there's multiple other things you can do.
Well, and the beauty of what we do is that we are lucky to be able to provide books and tuition scholarships. So, we were talking, talking to a counselor the other day from Wichita Heights, talking to a counselor of a guy at Campus High School the other day. Like, hey, tell these kids that there are opportunities to go to school for free.
Yeah.
If you're willing to do a little bit of work.
Exactly.
Come learn a craft. Even if you don't end up working in the world of video production, in your life, you'll be a part of a team. We have a lot of fun. And you'll learn something that you can do part-time. You could go, take that and work part-time for the Wichita Wind Surge in the summers, in the evenings and whatnot. So it really is a fun way to get involved. And we've had kids leave Butler and go work replay at K-State on ESPN televised games.
Right.
We've had several kids go to KU, Wichita State. Really, there are very good opportunities for kids who come to Butler or schools and figure this stuff out and really pursue a career in athletic management. And that's what we're so excited about. We finalized, we'd still take good kids if we found them, but finalized our scholarship list today, and we're going to have close to 30 kids on our athletic management, video production, sports media production team this year, which is just amazing. So
you love to see it. That's one thing that I think multiple colleges around here need to continue to grow on is their video production. Not only to grow, but really Kansas is such a central part of ESPN and all around. You got Kansas City 3 hours away. You got Oklahoma City 3 hours away. All these higher up professional things. You got the TBT coming to Wichita. All this stuff is all around, and it's super cool to see your kids that you brought up in your program work these events.
Absolutely.
So now the new pitcher is going to be Andrew Mason for the Blackfins. Blackfins down by 10. We are in run rule potential, as Matt said.
I really like the Blackfins logo and their jerseys.
Really do.
They've got a really crisp, clean look, but their pitching has struggled today.
It really has, and it could be a thing that, they've been here since 6 p.m. It's been tough to kind of sit down and watch the last game, and it's just one of those days, just a crazy day for the NBC World Series all around for baseball.
Talking about the El Dorado Broncos, that team that initially started in Hutchinson, and they had guys like Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens playing for that organization. Then they moved to Wichita for a number of years, won some NBC titles there. Then they moved to El Dorado and won more NBC titles in 96 and 98. And I think maybe another one in 2000, somewhere around in there. But just amazing that Jayhawk League and all the talent that it has produced over the years.
And this is Damian Ruiz here, who is 3 for 3 with 3 straight singles. So this is
the two-hole hitter already up to bat for the 4th time.
Yeah, this is not the guy you want to see right now if you're a Blackfins fan. No outs, bases loaded, and 3 for 3 with all singles. Hasn't had an RBI yet. We'll see if that happens. 1-1 the pitch. Swung on there for a strike. Ooh, really wanted that one.
Good velocity on that pitch, 86 miles per hour.
And I've been told that gun's about 3 to 4 miles an hour off usually.
So it might have been closer to 90?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what I've been told. So by multiple people, we've been here a lot with Juco and everything. So we've seen that pitch clock me around. And that's a high fly ball into center field. Just got a little too under that. And there to make the catch is going to be the center fielder for the Blackfins.
They throw behind to the runner at third base. Everybody moves up on the play.
That's crazy.
Of course, the runner from third scored, as you figured he might, but then the runners at first and second also moving up as well.
Yep, and finally the first out there for the Blackfins.
But even with an out, the Larks are getting runs. You said Ruiz had not had an RBI yet.
There it is.
There he gets one.
First sacrifice fly out for him.
Have you ever been to Larks Park out in Hayes?
I have not, actually.
It is a great place. I went and watched the Derby Twins play a 3-game series out there 2 or 3 years ago. I was coming right to you.
It really was. I thought I was going to have to reach out and grab it, but really slowed down as we have reached the new day. It is now a beautiful Wednesday here in Wichita, Kansas. We'll be back here in about 8 to 9 hours.
You going to have a ride home?
Oh, yeah. I'll be fine.
Oh. I thought your carriage might have turned into a pumpkin.
That's a good one. That is a good one. I love it. I love it. I love it.
You know, one thing about those El Dorado Broncos teams that won those 2 titles in 96 and 98, both times they had games that they were on the ropes and had to come from behind late to win. And it's interesting sometimes in a tournament like this, maybe in the NCAA tournament or something like that, where a team really is up against it, finds a way to win that game, and then they kind of go on from there.
Kind of saw that with the Santa Barbara Foresters a few nights ago against the Great Bend Batcats.
Well, that was, in my mind, that's the best game of the tournament so far.
Agree.
It was the most enjoyable game for me to watch.
Unfortunately, ending on a walk-off air isn't the way you want to end it, but it was a heck of a tournament. Really, the Batcats 2 airs away from winning that game. And I was up here calling that game. It was a heck of a game to call. Super fun to watch.
You know, it's pretty interesting to see the bracket start to develop here as we get going.
So it is. We have kind of the winner and loser where they're going to go. You really want to win this game. You have a little bit easier road. If you lose this game, which it looks like the Blackfins possibly might have a possibility, is that's going to walk the bases loaded again. You'll have to face teams like Seattle, like Santa Barbara down there. So you really want to win this game to stay at the top of the bracket.
But those 4 byes have already been established. Kansas Cannons, Hutch Monarchs, Seattle Studs, Santa Barbara Foresters.
And Tyler LaRue going to be at the plate now with the bases loaded, only 1 out. That's going to be swung on, and that's going to drop for a base hit in left field, possibly scoring 2. Frank's going to send him. A nice RBI single, scoring 2 runs, making this 16-3. And boy, the Hayes Larks have really taken advantage of this inning. Scoring 11, if I see that correctly.
Yeah, 11 runs in the inning.
That is twice today we have seen an 11-run inning.
How about Frank Leo?
Crazy.
40 years.
That's insane.
As the head coach of the Hayes Larks.
Isn't that funny, actually? The same year that Mike Dean started official scorekeeping for the NBC World Series was Frank Leo's first year as the head coach or the manager for the Hayes Larks. That's awesome.
You know, back when I was writing for the El Dorado paper, I wish I could remember the gentleman's last name. And maybe somebody out there listening, watching could help me out with this. I've thought about asking Kevin Jinks if he knew the guy's name. First name was Bill. And the guy would score every single game of the NBC tournament with pencil and paper in a note scorebook. Every single game, every single pitch. And one time I wrote a feature story on the guy just because I thought it was incredibly fascinating.
Is awesome.
And, you know, he told me he had been to every single NBC World Series game at Lawrence Dumont at that time. Now, that was back in the late 90s. And he was very old at the time, so I'm sure he's passed by now. But, you know, what a story that was. And then, of course, you know, as a kid, the NBC baseball around the clock and the craziness of, you know, you didn't necessarily have to watch all the games. You just had to be
there,
able to check in at the right time during each game.
And Brian Turner, who's on staff, told me lots of stories about that, how it was one of his favorite parts to just sneak up out in the outfield and drop that target, and that thing just popped up in the video board. Next thing you know, it was dead quiet, and everyone go, "It's over there. The checkpoint's over there."
And you know what? And that was before cell phones, so you couldn't like text your buddies and say, "We got to go now," right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like people would be sleeping in their cars, and somehow somebody would let them know it was time to check in, so they'd race over. You know, it was just wild times.
There's something about the baseball around the clock is just so interesting. It's so many people's favorite memories. I could hopefully see someday that possibly coming back. Now, on the BCTV side and on all the staff side, streaming those games all night long would be interesting to say the least.
Some of those games might just have to be one camera behind the plate, one set camera.
Just set that baby wide and let it roll.
You know, Tyler and I were talking about that. You know, with only having 3 of us to work most of these games, or sometimes it's just been 2 of them. Because, like today, I had to set up for a board meeting, so I didn't come over until later in the day. Tyler and Garrett were here running the show. One of us has to run camera, one of us has to run the switcher all day long. And for a while there, I was on camera, and I'm not very good at that, I'll be honest. And Tyler said, taking you back to the days when you used to run camera. I said, you know what? I've never run a camera for all the streams and everything we've done.
Really?
Yeah, because back in the day, we used to just set a camera, and people loved it because they'd never had a way to see the game before. So at least that way they could see what was going on. And then, of course, I would always broadcast the games. So bring them the action kind of that way. But, yeah, I've never really been a guy behind the camera. And I direct a lot of shows between the Wind Surge and Butler and whatnot. And I'm always telling the camera operators what I want from them and things like that. And sometimes I have to remember, like, I can't even do what these guys right here. Like, I've never been able to run I mean, I've never really tried, but even in my limited experience here, I'm not that good at it. We've got some really talented students who do a really amazing job, and they do it really well.
You know, that's one thing I've loved. I've gotten to kind of dabble in a little bit of everything. I started in the back of actually the first production I was ever a part of was a Arc City versus Winfield football game.
Ooh,
and
rivalry.
I was a statistician. I had to run stats as a pop fly to possibly end the inning. And that was caught there by the third baseman to end a crazy fourth inning. 16-3. That is the 11 spot on the board. We'll be back to start the fifth. You're watching the NBC World Series powered by Evergy and live on YouTube.
Here. All right, so we got a slice of outage alerts, heavy on the details for Jim.
It's fine.
All right. Take it easy, Jim. Order up for Mia. Choose your rate plan, no cheese.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, here you go. Thank you, you too. One mobile app because you're always on the go for Anthony. How's it going, Mel?
How do you take your energy? With Evergy, you choose from our new tools and options built to work for you. Evergy, the utility company.
Back here in beautiful Wichita, Kansas, we are in the top of the fifth. Run roll potential here as we head into the top of the fifth. I'm here with Matt Jacobs. Does a lot of great things, but I actually wanted to ask you, what is your favorite event you've ever directed?
Probably one of the coolest things was the very first Wind Surge playoff game at Riverfront Stadium a couple of years ago. That was very cool to be a part of. We've got a lot of Butler students who kind of cut their teeth at Butler, and they get a chance to go over and work for the Wind Surge. That particular game, more than half of the video production crew for the Wind Surge that night were Butler kids and they're Butler people, and that was really a pretty enjoyable experience.
You know, the majors have a farming system. It's like you have your own farming system through Butler. If they know they're good enough and they love the job and like to succeed, you can get a job for them for sure.
Yeah, and that's really cool, that partnership that Butler BCTV has with the Wichita Wind Surge. And, sometimes the Wind Surge are like, we got to train some more people because when Butler has a football game, we lose our staff.
Right.
Which is kind of true. But, the three people that do replay at the Surge are Tyler, Garrett, and myself.
Yeah.
So it's usually has to be one of the three of us who are running replay.
You know, we're talking about how you don't really run camera. I've never touched replay before. I don't think I could stay that focused to like watch things.
You have to have an eye for like something the director might not have seen because they're cutting between live shots.
Right.
The replay person has to be able to go and pick that little piece out, that little nugget out.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been running after every feature game. We run a little replay highlight package up here on the board, and that's been pretty cool to see. So, looking forward to especially Friday night because we'll be doing our full setup for both of the semifinal games and of course the championship game. But as we're kind of growing into this, both the NBC is growing with us and we're growing with the NBC as far as getting this. And so we've done what we call a full 4-camera and a replay.
And that's a high fly ball there to center field. And that's an easy catch there for the center fielder for the Hayes Larks. Going to be Trent Baker. But yeah, it's fun. It's really fun to see the NBC stream grow. You know, I've been here. I came 5 years ago, and when I first came here, it was a 1-camera, no scoreboard, announcer that doesn't even have a soundboard. And then I kind of took over, and I made it a 1-camera with an announce board. And then the next year, I tried to add a center field camera, and now look at it with 4 cameras. It's really fun to see this.
And you know how it feels to kind of see that baby grow.
Right, yeah.
And so that's certainly very cool. So, we have one game, the feature game each night, which has a replay. And then for the other games, we still have 4 cameras. There's 3 of them are set. So you may notice We've got one camera on a right-handed batter, one camera left-handed batter. The set shot always out in center field, and then one camera behind the plate that moves around. So,
and what people don't really notice is how important that center field camera is. How much of a different view. Even if you just have one guy following you up top in that center field camera, it just elevates the stream so much.
Absolutely. And so, what was really cool is among the many things that I do, I have a license to drive charter buses.
Wow. What do you not do, man?
Right?
Like, seriously.
I fly airplanes. That's pretty cool.
He does just about everything.
You know, I almost forgot that when I was in grad school at Wichita State getting my master's in sports management, we had to work the NBC tournament.
Really?
And one day I was out there, one of my jobs was to run the manual scoreboard at Forest Dumont.
Wow.
You know, where they put the numbers, you hang the numbers.
Uh-huh.
That was kind of a cool experience.
And the Larks actually snuck in a new pitcher on us. Cameron Walton didn't even notice it.
He's trying to close this thing out.
Yeah, he is. We're 1 out away from a run rule here.
But so I got to where I drive around the Butler softball team. It's pretty fun to get to hang out with those kids and whatever. And so I would say, hey, if I'm there driving the bus anyway, I might as well broadcast the games.
Of course.
And so I would set up a remote camera out in center field. And just, you're right, just having that center field camera makes such a difference.
It really does. That pitch in there for a strike 2-1, 2 outs.
So, you know, I'm excited to see where BCTV goes next. We're always putting in bids to try to do different events. You know, right now we're talking about doing some soccer events over at Stryker Field.
And man, that's an amazing play by the third baseman.
Oh, wow.
And what a stop. And that's going to end the ball game. Final score 16-3. What a ball game. Hayes really just took advantage of it and dropped 11 in the fourth. It looked like the Blackfins had a chance, but nope. Hayes Lark said, no, this is our game tonight. We're going to end it tough, and we are going to stay in the top of the bracket. I don't know times yet or officials, but they are in the top towards the Kansas, Hutchinson, Monarch area, and then the Blackfins drop to possibly face, if they win the next game, they will face the Seattle Studs.
How about that, a Seattle-Seattle matchup?
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. But we want to thank you guys for sticking around late tonight. All 200 of you guys still watching to the very end, so it means a lot. We'll see you guys tomorrow. You guys, we're watching the 89th Annual NBC World Series powered by Evergy. Thank you so much. I'm Andrew Burgos. Have a great night.